Joren is a definite spark in this world. Once you meet him, you just get electrified by his energy. We met each other in Malta as we were both hanging out at a hostel. He was making this giant meal for everybody that was there, and now you get to hear more of his story. Thank you, Joren, for joining us and allowing me to use this interview to see what we can do for the North of 35 community out there.
Thank you. I'm really feeling privileged to do this. So thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit of your story since turning 30?
I can. Just to keep it not so long. After I turned 30, I kind of had thoughts. Especially the day after I turned 30, I was driving, and then I was thinking, damn, I'm 30. I should have built up something. So I kind of had this balanced idea that I had to have. So I kind of feel bad for a small moment, and then I talked with my ex-girlfriend back then, and she told me like, what do you mean you have nothing? You have everything. You have a house, you have a car, you have a good job, you have me. Then all of a sudden I was like, poof, get out of the dream. And it was very, very useful, and I was very fortunate to have my ex-girlfriend then to actually slap me awake to let me see the reality of the situation. Yeah.
So tell me some of your biggest accomplishments since turning 30.
The biggest accomplishment is that I realized that most of my lifetime I was living for the social pressure, social expectations. Because, for instance, I was expected to get married, I was expected to have kids, and things like that. And after 30, I kind of actually realized and found out that those pressure were not the true expectation I wanted it to happen. I thought those were the things that I had to accomplish. But after the 35, actually, I realized that that was not the case. I started to actually find my own expectations, and from that, actually, I exploded and grew like a butterfly. I just spread my wings, and I flew away until now.
What are your biggest accomplishments?
That was it. I exploded and I flew away. I got free. I got free. That was the biggest one I had. And because of that, I had so much more things happening for me, like finding out how the physical body works, how the mind works, how finance work, and all those stuff together that is actually building up my life. So yeah, if I have to name one, that was it. I exploded and I flew away. Yeah.
What kind of attitude do you think you possess to reach those accomplishments?
First of all, I think you should have something like perseverance, because in life you will not be able to have things succeed in one time. So you have to keep on going. One time not going, a second time, a third time, fourth time. Very important. That's what I've found out. Also, calculation is very important. That's the rational part of thinking, because if I were too emotional, I would not have things done. It's very simple, like 1 + 1 is 2. That is rational, but the emotional part is, what do you think about the color of red? That is very difficult, because emotions are very biased, and I try to keep things more rational so I can make choice, and later on I can be very happy about them, and then I can explain to myself, that was the reason you chose that thing or you made that choice. So I'm happy about it. And also, what is very important is passion. I've found out or learned that when I am passionate about certain things, I'll do it more with love, with more power, with more like that glow in your eyes. That's something I found out. And when you have passion, you will do things so much more easier. It's not gonna be a job anymore. It's fun. It's just like, wow, just do it. Yeah. And also what you have to have is some vision in the future, because you're not gonna be 21 forever or 30. You have to have some plans for later. When you have it, you actually work towards that goal, and when you have it, it's like easy, walk in the park, like they say in America. So, yeah, that's actually about it. What you need to move on for me.
How do you overcome fear and negative thinking?
This is actually quite a very simple one. As I was growing up, I had some fears, and I tried to deal with them as I was growing up with, like I just said before, the rational part of thinking. And because fear comes from not knowing about certain things, and I learned how to actually discover them. After I discovered that it was actually just some habits I had that causes those fear, actually they were just vanishing like the snow before the sun. And about negative things and emotions, yeah, that was actually very easy, because somehow in my brain, when I see something negative, I just turn it into positive just like that. I'll give you an example. For instance, I'm driving, my car has a flat tire. I'll be thinking like, shoosh, that's bad. But maybe something will happen if I just drive through that road and something will hit me. So this is actually helping me to not get killed. I always have these kind of turning negative to positive thoughts. Maybe they are not always good, but for me, it works. It works so well. Yeah, so that's how I do it.
If you could give the world one piece of advice right there in front of you, what would it be?
It would be that every person should learn how to love him or herself first, because without knowing how to love yourself, you can actually never love anybody. That's very important. Self-love, self-esteem, self-exploration, and all those things. But self-love is the first thing that you have to control it, or know it, how to use it. Very important.
What are your future plans?
I am going to open or start a school for my own self. What I want to do with the school is give children who have no parents or no guidance, so they can go there and have a place for themselves to play around, to learn something. Because what I want to do is use my knowledge and experience I have built up, give it to them, so they can have a better future. At least they know what things will come, because nowadays parents don't know what to do with children. They have no idea. They themselves are actually little children, so they cannot give something actually good to their children, so their children will actually excel from what they already have. And with this school, I also tend to travel with the children actually throughout the world, because I learned from my own experience. Traveling is something that will heal people, also open people's eyes.